Welcome to the Unblock Your Business podcast. I'm Abby Rogers, success coach, business coach and hypnotherapist, and I help high achievers and business leaders master their subconscious habits for success, income goals and, above all, happiness. But success isn't just about mindset or strategy. It's about combining both and sealing the deal with a big dose of subconscious alignment, because our subconscious holds the true key to unlocking our potential. Let's dive in and look at how you can show up bigger, better and more uniquely aligned in life and business today. Hello there. So today we are looking at dealing with anxiety as a business owner, and this is a topic that is really close to my heart because basically the whole reason I got into doing what I do now is because of my anxiety. Thanks, friend. The funny thing is that I didn't even really realise I had anxiety at the time. I'm not even sure I really knew what anxiety was back then. I think maybe I was the only person in the world who hadn't had the memo on anxiety. Maybe we're just so much more aware now, or I'm so much more aware of because of what I do and because of my journey. But yeah, it was like not something that applied to me. And I didn't get help for anxiety because actually I thought I was fine. I never thought that I had a problem mental health wise, essentially, and the whole reason I ended up getting help with it was because I sought help from a hypnotherapist for basically my fear of public speaking and performing and lack of confidence, which I didn't associate with anxiety. I thought that was a totally separate thing. And it turned out to be a really eye-opening experience, during which I realised that actually I had raging anxiety and was just doing a really good job of being fine, inverted commas fine, and operating as this really competent, in control human being, juggling all manner of things, including my previous multi-six-figure business, which was actually causing me enormous stress. So I was kind of like the proverbial duck, gliding along effortlessly on the surface of the water, but paddling away frantically to keep going underneath, appearing on the surface and telling myself, despite probably lots of evidence to the contrary, telling myself I was absolutely in control and competent and I had this thing and I was okay. But when I look back now, there was a lot of evidence there that things weren't okay. I was having panic attacks between clients. I was noticing I was getting palpitations. I had like random skin irritations and random kind of undiagnosed illnesses or undiagnosable illnesses. I'd go to the doctor and they would find there was nothing wrong, even though I felt like I had this virus all the time. And I was like crying on the way into work fairly regularly, but that was fine. I thought I was fine. And in fact, I was suffering with what we call high functioning anxiety, which is basically doing that, thinking you're fine and just like cracking on regardless of how stressed you are. Now, I wanted to talk to you about this because it's obviously important to me, but it's also something that comes up a lot with my coaching clients, and it's come up in my Mastermind group this week. So many business owners at all levels are struggling with anxiety, and I wanted to tell you straight up that it's not something that is just fixed by hitting our goals. So we often have this idea that if we do a bit of money mindset work and then we hit that magic goal of 10k a month or whatever it might be that we're aiming for, that all our problems will just fade away and life will be easy and we'll feel great then. That will be when we feel properly relaxed and happy and it will be all easy and plain sailing then. But in truth, actually, the anxiety that we feel around money or around not having enough clients or not being a success in our businesses isn't, unfortunately, a problem that is just solved as soon as those things are taken care of. So you would think, yeah, as soon as I get to that point where I'm fully booked with clients, it's going to be great. I'm going to feel wonderful and life will just be amazing. And there's very much that narrative out there, isn't there, that we see from people who have achieved that. And the truth is that those worries are basically just a symptom of our anxiety. They are not the fix-all, they're not the cause. The anxiety just basically makes them seem louder and larger than they are, and it focuses our attention on those problems so that they occupy our thoughts every waking moment. So what often happens is that people hit their income goal and then they find that they don't feel any different. And what happens is that anxiety shifts and finds another focus. So they're kind of a bit deflated. They're like, oh, I've got to 10k a month and it kind of feels the same as it did before. Suddenly the focus shifts away from I'm not earning enough, or it might not. We might still feel like we're not earning enough. And it can shift to things like I've got to keep earning more, or what if I lose it all, or now I've got to hit 20k months. Or it can shift instead to other areas of life and creating drama and crisis elsewhere in life. And very often those thoughts can end up actually sabotaging the very thing that they've just created. Or people kind of hit this wall and they're like, oh, yeah, I've got my 10k a month and now I just feel stuck. I just can't progress any further. And they're still worried about maintaining that 10k. But they're not able to take any action to go to their next level. So you may have heard this saying, new level, new devil. Very true, because unless we tackle all the anxiety and all the stuff that's going on underneath, if we've just done enough work to get us to that 10k month, say, then we end up feeling absolutely stressed out and overwhelmed by new things when we hit that 10k level. So it can be really easy for this to become basically a never-ending cycle of stress and struggle, and never feeling like you have enough, never feeling like you've achieved enough, and constantly being buried in work, which is why so many footballers and celebrities and lottery winners end up, you would think they would be so happy and so sorted and they have no room for anxiety in their lives, but a lot of them end up actually far from happy and doing things like spending like their lives depend on it, and getting lost in chasing more and more fame and fortune, or taking great risks with their health, like drinking and drugs problems and gambling and things like that. And it's this underlying anxiety and their thought patterns, their beliefs not having been aligned with their journey all the way along. So this is why I absolutely believe that you've got to tackle anxiety and self-worth issues along with any money mindset work you do or any other work you do in your business if you ever want to get to that point of feeling completely successful and fine with what you do, because it's so much more complex than just believing that you can achieve a certain income and hey presto, your life is fixed once you get there. Unless you deal with that anxiety, it will just find another problem to give you and to keep you feeling anxious and stressed and not enough. So I believe that entrepreneurship is kind of a double whammy in a way, because firstly it tends to attract high functioning people who are really driven, often perfectionists and totally out to prove themselves, just like me. I am absolutely one of those people. And secondly, the entrepreneurial journey is rife with things that just fuel that anxiety even more. So we've already mentioned I need more clients, I need more money, all those sorts of things that we aspire to. Now, obviously, the fact that you have to make this business thing work for your very survival, well, that's a pretty big potential worry, right? That could drive that anxiety pretty high all by itself. But then we've also got things like numerous coaches and people telling us that we have to do things their way, 11 billion different strategies to follow to achieve success. And we are often pushed to do things that feel very uncomfortable and very unnatural in our marketing and sales processes. And there's this kind of heightened sense of competition and fighting for survival, because we're fed this really unrealistic picture of what's out there by the algorithms and by just our brain and our natural filters. I've talked about this before. There's pressure to show up, pressure to perform, pressure to be good all the time, which a lot of that pressure just comes from ourselves. There's the pressure to price our services correctly, pressure to get our messaging right. There's pressure to make decisions about what to do for the best each and every day. This is a stressful thing we are doing. Anybody who thinks it isn't, sorry, but you're not on the right planet. And all of these things feel so much harder when we're under the influence of anxiety. But they also feed the anxiety as well, and they make it way worse. And of course, if you are a natural born workaholic, then you never really switch off either. And switching off is one of the ways that we regulate our emotions and manage anxiety. So anxiety is, I often think of it as being like a snowball. It's a real vicious cycle because it convinces you that you don't have time to do the very things that will help you feel better. You don't have time to take time out. You've got to keep working and working. So it'll tell you don't have time to take proper care of yourself. And it will convince you that doing the things that you need to do for your own good, like setting proper boundaries or maybe dropping some of the crazy workload, it will convince you that those things will be the end of your business. So it will keep you trapped in doing those things that actually are just fueling that anxiety and draining your energy and draining your time. Anxiety will, of course, also have us spending money on things that we already know and things that we've done before. So I know all of this because that's exactly where I was trapped when I ran that multi-six-figure business. I didn't feel successful. I felt utterly trapped. Back then, having not done any work on my money mindset, actually I was still running a six-figure business and felt really kind of bad about the fact I was running a business and earning money, so I didn't really talk about it. But I felt very poor at the time. I felt like I couldn't spend on anything. I was so frugal, and that ultimately really held that business back as well. And I think that may have been a very different story if that anxiety hadn't been driving that desire to just hold on to money. So I think one of the most important things you can do for your business is to deal with that anxiety. Hopefully you've got that message anyway by now, but I just thought I might spell it out there just in case it's not quite hit home yet. Because when you do, all that stuff falls away and you're able to step back and run your business in a way that just feels good and fun and enjoyable, and you feel like you have made it even when you're still aspiring to more. You feel like, I'm okay with this. This is good. I'm actually, this is a nice challenge. I'm having fun here. It's not like this absolute compulsion that you've got to keep working. And when you're in that kind of frame of mind where you're able to stand back and breathe and have that overview, all of a sudden you start to see options that you didn't believe that you had before. And you can actually achieve so much more. You get insights that you just would not otherwise get when you're under the spell of that anxiety. And you can see easily how to achieve those next goals. You just start to, like the floodgates open, and all of a sudden your brain's like, yeah, I can help you now. And the pressure comes off and you can think so much more clearly and you feel more decisive and more confident. And like you actually have so much more time and so much more control over what you do with that time. And as I say, you actually get to enjoy running your business rather than feeling like it's this draining, totally overwhelming thing that is just running your life, which I think maybe is the main thing for me, because that's the whole reason we're here, isn't it? That's exactly why we do this business thing, so that we can enjoy our lives and relax. Certainly is for me anyway. So that's what I'm working on right now with the ladies in my mastermind. As I say, we've been tackling a lot of that anxiety stuff that's cropped up this week, and that's actually open at the moment for applications for the next round right now. So if you're interested in joining a group program that is actually incredible value for money, and is going to support you with your mindset and tackling all of these things over the course of a few months, then that is open for applications. It's called the Limitless Mind Business Accelerator, and I will pop a link to that in the show notes for you. I am also really, really excited to be launching something rather special for next year, which is a one-to-one program for women who basically know that they were made for more and have massive dreams for their business, that they don't even kind of go there. But right now they are feeling that no matter how much they work on their mindset, they just still seem to come up against these invisible barriers, maybe around things like charging and selling or generating income easily, or a lot of the stuff we've talked about today, like just never feeling quite satisfied and never feeling able to step away from work and just enjoy their businesses, and struggling with things like imposter syndrome, perfectionism, procrastination, self-doubt, all those things that just strangle our businesses and hold us back so much. So outwardly, if this is for you, you may be really successful in your business already. Maybe you're already earning something like 5 to 20k a month, but perhaps you're still feeling like you are struggling to feel as though you've reached your full potential, and you're kind of frequently doubting yourself and feeling really dissatisfied. So what this is, it's a very special high-touch money and mindset mentoring program, which I will be offering to just 5 women, where we will work together for a whole year to keep your mindset absolutely optimized for success beyond your wildest dreams. So it starts with 6 intensive sessions where we'll put in place all the building blocks to help you access your highest level insight and maintain focus and confidence and motivation all year round, and to bust through all those blocks and understand what is really going on there and how you can start to be in control of your mind rather than the other way around, so that you can show up consistently as your most empowered self all through the year and make 2022 your most successful year ever, personally and professionally. We are then going to work together twice a month to build on everything we've done in that first 6 weeks, and just have you breezing through the year with absolute confidence, clarity and alignment, and free from anxiety and limiting beliefs, so that you can just jump in with both feet and take your business to brave new heights that you would never even have imagined you could achieve before. So next week I want to give you some tips for quickly calming an anxious mind in the moment, because sometimes we just need a little kind of SOS routine to just turn things around quickly and allow us to get on with things. That is not going to be a substitute for doing deep subconscious work, though, to help you reduce anxiety in the long term. To do that, you actually need to work on a much deeper level and do all sorts of things like sorting out your sleep and building confidence. All those kinds of things come into play. So there really is no substitute for learning how to overcome anxiety long term and having the right strategies built into your life and your thought processes to help you get to the point where it is no longer an issue. But it will help you in the moment if you're feeling a bit anxious and just need something to calm you down. So look out for that next week. I will look forward to seeing you then. And in the meantime, if you are serious about making an incredible mindset part of your business next year and you want to have a chat about that new program and see whether you might be one of my lucky 5 ladies, then just drop me an email via the link in the show notes and I would love to chat to you. So have a fab week in the meantime. Take care, and I'll be back with my top 10 tips next week. See you soon. Bye. Thanks for listening. I really hope you've enjoyed today's episode. If you have, it would be incredible if you could pop a review on iTunes, Google, Spotify, or your favourite podcast platform. And if you want to dive deeper, you can find me in my Facebook group Unblock Your Business or at www.unblockyourbusiness.com.